Hey there, welcome back. Thanks for joining the Jaw Life channel. Greatly appreciate that. We're working toward the 100 live guitar practice streams, and today marks day 82. So, getting a little closer, almost there. So, continuing to lay those bricks towards something special. So, anyways, thank you all for joining. I greatly appreciate that. As always, I invite you to, pick up your guitar and follow along. Let's learn some tips. Let's learn some practice exercises, and let's just have some fun. Let's just see how much we can actually improve, throughout these 100 days, throughout these. Uh, yeah, sorry, I got distracted. I saw a little, pop up on the window there. Looks like someone might be actually watching. Interesting. Ah, they left. Figures. A little distraction. Pop up and then they leave me. Darn it. Maybe they'll come back. Anyways, thank you all for joining the journey. Greatly appreciate that. Yeah, as you can tell by the thumbnail and the title, we'll be working on some major and minor scales as well as some power chords. So, and while working on these major and minor scales, I want to work on not hitting the adjacent string, not going like 6-5 or 5-4, the string right next to it. But I want to get better at skipping strings, being accurate when I skip. Sometimes I want to skip over one string and I skip over two, or sometimes I want to skip over one string and I don't skip over one string at all. So just trying to get that understanding of how far does this, hand have to move to actually get to the other string. So continuing to just, rep things out, continuing to build the muscle memory, build the dexterity. I just want to see how well we can get at the end of the 100 days. Might not be, shredding on stage and impressing people at bonfires and things like that, but that was never my goal. So I just want to, bond with the guitar. I've never, been a musician. I didn't have a lot of musicians in my family, growing up to be inspired by or, to learn from, things like that. So I'm a complete beginner, completely self-taught. And hopefully me being a beginner, maybe I can, say something that has a light bulb go off in another beginner's head who stumbles across my videos. So hopefully I can help somebody else out there who's, motivated and inspired to learn this guitar. But, it is tricky. So hopefully something I say can inspire someone to keep going, right? So there's always the struggles. It's kind of hard. It takes a lot of repetition, takes a lot of, diligence and a lot of dedication to continue coming back and putting in the time, putting in the effort to get good at this thing. So anyways, let's go ahead and hop on in. If you're into, guitar, music, things like that, I plan on posting some other videos in the future about, music festivals that I've attended and things like that. So please, subscribe so that way it's easier to find my content in the future. But let's go ahead and jump on in. Again, we're going to start with the major and minor scales, not major and minor chords, but major and minor scales. So for me, the easiest ones to remember, it is C major and A minor. And the reason that is because it's just the alphabet in straight order with no sharps or flats to confuse you on, well, which one was the sharp? Was the D sharp or was the F sharp? There is none of that. So that's what's great. So for the C major, it is C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. C, D, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. And if you really want to complete just this little box, you could go to the D again if you really wanted to, right? So, again, C major is the straight alphabet, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. A minor is also straight through the musical alphabet, no sharps, no flats. That's why it's easy to remember. So if you go to the A minor, it's A, B, C, D, E, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B. Obviously you'd finish on the A, on the root A, but since B and C are still within the within that scale, you could, you could continue playing those if you really wanted to. But again, C major, A minor, those are the easier ones to remember. So again, I always mention my pinned comment below the video, not the detailed section, but the pinned comment always has like a list of notes. Whatever the topic of conversation is for that day, I make sure I put those notes down there so that way you can, steal them, copy, paste it into your own Word document, your own Excel spreadsheet, your own pen and paper, however you want to keep your notes. But I've watched a lot of videos. I've, read a lot of articles. Sometimes, watching YouTube videos, things just don't click. So sometimes, do some research, you read some articles, things start clicking a little better. So I've gathered lots of notes throughout these 100 days, offline when I'm doing research and things like that. So again, check out the pinned comment section below for all the notes. It'll really help wrap your mind around the things that I'm saying because again, these are live recordings. So I'm not recording these offline and doing editing and graphics and transitions and things like that and color grading, stuff like that. That'll come later. I'm working on some editing skills for other videos, but that'll come later. I just want to hop on here on live for an hour every day and get my practice in, hopefully teach some other people and things like that. But if you check out that pinned comment below, it'll really help you wrap your mind around like what I'm saying, because you'll see the chart, you'll see the list, you'll be able to find, A major, B major, oh, there's your C major, and you'll be able to see, straight across, okay, yeah, there are no sharps or flats. You'll look at the B major and you'll see some sharps and flats. You'll look at the A major and you'll see some sharps and flats. But you look at the A minor and you won't. So again, check that out so that way you can really, understand what I'm talking about here, because I know it can be kind of confusing without cool graphics and pop-ups and things like that. So I leave the notes just for you guys to steal them. So please do. But again, we're going to go to the C major. I like to start with my middle finger on the 8th fret, 6th string. So that is a C note, obviously, because we're playing the C major scale. And then once you learn this finger pattern, middle finger, pinky, 5th string goes index, middle, pinky, 4th string goes index, ring, pinky, 3rd string goes index, ring, pinky. The 2nd string goes middle, pinky. And then the 1st string goes index, middle. So that way you end on C. Because remember, the low E string and the high E string are mirrors of each other. So if this here on the 8th fret, 6th string is a C, the 8th fret, 1st string is also going to be a C. So once you know that finger pattern, you're golden, because you can then switch to anywhere on the fretboard and play that same finger pattern, and you'll still be playing a major scale, right? You want to come up here to the A, the same finger pattern. So again, a major scale. A major scale has some sharps and some flats in there. That's why it's like, I don't really remember which one's a sharp and a flat, but I do know the finger pattern. I do know what the fingers are supposed to do. So if you ever forget, always just go back, find your 8th fret, 6th string, that's your C. Again, these stickers help tremendously if you're a beginner, so I highly, highly recommend them if you're also a complete beginner. But yeah, run that pattern back. If you forget, like you're trying to run like a G major scale and you're starting to run it and you're like, crap, I forget what the pattern is. Come back to your C, run the pattern. Okay, so again, I'll say out what fingers they are. Middle finger, pinky, fifth string, index, middle, pinky, fourth string, index, ring, pinky, third string, index, ring, pinky, second string, middle, pinky, first string, index, middle. Then go back and descend. Okay. Again, it's C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. No sharps, no flats. That's what makes that one so awesome. Again, once you remember that, move it anywhere and you're playing the D major scale, as long as you have that finger pattern, right? See how great all of that sounds together? It's because I'm staying in the D major scale. There's some sharps and some flats. Again, I don't remember which ones are sharps or flats. Doesn't matter. I know the finger pattern, so I can play every major scale. I can play every minor scale once I know the A minor finger pattern. It's a little different, right? So I'll get to that in just a little bit. I just want to keep repping over the major scale for just a second. And again, I like to always, ascend and descend, go up and back down, so that way my fingers kind of know what to do going both directions, right? So. It's a D major scale. Slide it anywhere you want. Let's go way up here on the 3rd fret, 6th string. That's a G note, so we're playing the G major scale, as long as we stay within that finger pattern. I forgot my index here on the 2nd fret, 5th string, but mostly I'll run it again just because. Since I messed up, get some more reps in. On some strings you use 2 fingers, some strings you use 3 fingers, so you just got to figure out the pattern again, and then once you have that pattern, you're good on all of the major scales. So let's say you want to do a F major scale. Can't do necessarily. I bet I could. Let's see. There you go. I actually did do it. Sounds pretty good together, doesn't it? I was a little confused there because I didn't think I could do it, but you can. You just have to play open strings. I'm not used to, I've been running the scale so much, I'm used to every finger has to fret something. Well, unless you go way up here and your index finger's on the other side of that nut, this white bar here, that's considered the nut, where those strings are kind of inlaid in. That's the nut. So anything that's on the other side of this nut, I don't have to, put a finger down, obviously. So I was kind of confused, like, what do I do? Well, you just play the open string. So again, you can play it anywhere. If you wanted to play like a B flat, a B flat major scale. Okay, go find your B flat on the 6th string, put your middle finger on it. Because then the way I like to start the scale is with the middle finger on the major scales. The minor scale, I do like to start with my index finger, but on the major scale, I like to start with my middle finger. So I found my B flat. It's on the 6th fret, 6th string. Again, just run the pattern. Middle, pinky, index, middle, pinky, index, ring, pinky, index, ring, pinky, middle, pinky, index, middle, index, pinky, pinky, ring, index, pinky, middle, index, pinky, middle. And that's the B flat major scale. So again, that's what's so beautiful about this, right? So now that I understand what to do, now I just got to rep it out hundreds of times, thousands of times, right? Because just because you learn something for 30 minutes or an hour or even a day, right? You step away, come back in a week's time, month's time, you probably forgot it if you still weren't practicing, right? So as with anything, it takes a lot of repetition. So that's why some of these videos you might see like a thumbnail or a title that looks the same. Like, oh, I've seen there's a major and minor scale little tag on different thumbnails. Yeah, but I'm doing different things. So always check those videos out because I'm giving out different tips, different exercises in all of them. So make sure you check out those other videos. Continue supporting the channel. I'd appreciate it. Share it with your friends. Always. All right, let's just run some major scales. Again, with the major scale, if another way to maybe, everyone learns kind of different, right? What makes a light bulb go off in one person's head, that light bulb might not necessarily go off in another person's head. So maybe something that can kind of help you is understanding, if it's a whole step or a half step. So with the major scale, the formula, again, I will put it in the pinned comment section below. So that way you have all these notes, you have the formula, you have what the major and minor scales are for each for each key, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. You'll have the scales for all of them, all of the majors, all of the minors. You'll have the formula for the major scale. You'll have the formula for the minor scale. All of that in the pinned comment section below. So make sure you check that out. And like I always recommend and advise, please steal it, copy paste it into your own notes. So that's what I'm here for. Hopefully to help somebody else and make some friends in the music industry, music world, I guess. Maybe not a music industry per se. That would be amazing if I actually get some friends from the music industry by making these beginner videos. That would be hilarious. But no, just other hobbyists, more or less. Slide it to a different position and let's try it again. Let's do this A flat major scale. Oh yeah, I was talking about the formulas and I didn't even mention what they were, I don't think. Sorry about that. Sometimes I'm telling you, if you haven't tried to play an instrument and talk or play an instrument and tap your foot, man, people are skilled. I'm telling you, musicians, I have gotten a lot more respect and appreciation for musicians. It is tough. So anyways, the major formula, if that helps, once you start with this C note here on the 8th fret 6th string, it's a whole step, it's not a half step, it's a whole step to get to that next note. So the formula is whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step, whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, half step. So again, pinned comment section, check it out. It'll be listed there, but it's whole step, half step, whole step, half step. So 2 whole steps, a half step, 3 whole steps, a half step. Again, whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, half step. Wait, well, I messed that up. Whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, half step. Whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, half step, whole step, half step, whole step, half step. Quick swig of water. I'm still overcoming a slight sickness. I got like a golf ball in my throat, it feels like. Decided to get back into jogging and getting cardio in and stuff like that. I haven't really ran a whole lot lately. So, I'm always doing yoga. I'm always, lifting weights and things like that, and getting in other forms of cardio like bike and treadmill or stair climber, elliptical, things like that. But I realized I wasn't really running. So I wanted to get back into running. So I started that a couple of days ago. And I had no idea at the time that our northern friends, our northern neighbors up in Canada, were having a catastrophe. I guess they're having like, at one point I saw it was over 200 wildfires. Now I've seen it up to 400 wildfires all burning at the same time, and all that smoke and debris and those particles with the wind are kind of coming through the United States, the northern half of the United States, and kind of the eastern. It's just kind of getting blown around, and I didn't know at the time, so I went out and I was running. I was getting it, and like I said, I haven't been doing it for very long, so obviously I'm sucking wind, right? I'm not very, I don't have the stamina. So as I was sucking in all of that wind, I wasn't actually sucking in fresh air like I had thought. I was sucking in dirty, fire, fumes and things like that are just blowing around right now. So we're actually in a, what's it called? Just like a air warning or whatever it's called. So yeah, I think that's what caused a little bit of sickness in my throat. So apologies if I have to swig on this water every now and then. I'm still trying to get over it. Hopefully everything up there gets settled quickly. Hopefully not too many animals, not too many people, are being injured and dying from this. It's quite sad. So my condolences to our friends up there in the north. Anyways, let's get back into playing some major and minor scales here. Now I'm just kind of playing within the scale instead of just walking the scale up and down, being so repetitive and kind of that, I don't know, for me personally, I've ran so many scales and pentatonic scales and the major scale and the minor scale. It's like just to run a scale up and down is like kind of annoying to me at this point. So I'm just trying to play within it. I don't have any specific pattern. Now I'm just walking the scale but skipping strings this time. I didn't bring tissue. I brought water for my throat, but I didn't bring tissue for my nose. Should probably go grab one right quick. There we go. Perfecto, perfecto. All right. There we go. Again, apologies. Don't ever want to do that type of stuff on camera, but again, since these are live recordings, can't help it, right? Sometimes I have to step off the camera frame just for a split second. But I'm back. Let's get back into it. I'm just trying to skip strings right now. Again, trying to get that understanding. How much do I really have to move this arm, this wrist, whatever's going on here to get to the extra, to skip over it and get to that other string? Darn it. Oh, my apologies again. Dang it. I guess that could be a good segue, though. I see that we're, roughly halfway through the hour-long practice session for today. So we'll go ahead and kind of switch gears. I've mainly been talking about, the major scale, but now I'm going to talk about the minor scale a little bit more in depth. But real quick, I guess before I get into that, just wanted to give you a reminder, check out the pinned comment section below. There's a lot of notes down there that you can, steal. And by reviewing those notes, the things that I'm saying will make a lot more sense. Again, since these are live recordings and not, uploaded with, transitions and graphics and things like that, check out the pinned comment section below so that way you understand, kind of what I'm talking about each and every day. So also, if you're into guitar, if you're learning anything, I'd appreciate a subscribe. I think there's a way to click on the little icon down here, and you can quickly subscribe to the channel. That's always appreciated. To see the subscribers going up lets me know that stuff I'm doing is worthwhile. So I'd appreciate that. Also, leave a comment of your own. Don't just check out my pinned comment of my notes, but leave a comment of your own. Let me know what you think about major and minor scales, stuff like that. Get a community of like minds talking about guitar, talking about music, things like that. So leave a comment of your own. That's always appreciated. And also hit the like button just to help a friend out. Tell the YouTube algorithm, hey, this video is liked, and send it to other people. So I'd greatly appreciate your support. Also, if you know an actual specific person that's trying to learn guitar, share it. Share my videos to them. Say, hey, go watch this video. Hey, I found this guy on YouTube. Here, let me share this so you can check this out. I'd appreciate the shares as well. So anyways, just wanted to mention those couple little things real quick, but now let's go ahead and transition back into the guitar, which is obviously the reason that we're here. So now going over here to the minor scale, again, it was C major, but it's A minor. So with A minor, again, it's the easy one to remember because there's no sharps, no flats. Check my pinned comment below and you'll see that. You'll understand that. So again, starting with A, this time I use my index. With the C major scale, I like to start with my middle finger. But with the minor scales, I like to start with my index finger just because everything just kind of falls in place easier that way. All right, so A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. B, C, D, E, F, G, A. You could do B, C if you wanted. But since we're in the A major scale, you could stop here on the root note of A. So again, rep that out. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, G, A. B, C, D, E, F, G, A. So again, once you understand that finger pattern, you can move it anywhere and you can play any minor scale. So that's what's so great. 2 finger patterns teach you all major and minor scale patterns. So that's what's so beautiful. All right. It helps me, right? Because you look at this thing and you start picking this up the first time, you're like, oh my gosh, so much to remember. How could I ever remember all these different things? Well, because once you actually start really studying it and, light bulbs start going off, you start seeing how things are related. So yeah, you have to remember things, but when things are related, it makes it easier to remember, right? Like you got one finger pattern and you get numerous, scales from it. For this one on the A minor scale, it is index, ring, pinky, index, ring, pinky, index, ring, shift a fret, index, middle, pinky, shift back to the original, index, middle, pinky, index. All right, so now that we're kind of understanding it, right, you can take that same finger pattern, right? We're working on A minor scale. Let's slide to a different spot on the neck. Here, let's go to the C. Again, we don't want to play C major because we're working on the minor scales right now. Minor scale. So stay within that finger pattern and you'll play the minor scale. If you switch your finger pattern to the other one, you might be playing the C major scale, but we don't want to do that right now. We want to play the C minor scale. So it's, a little different. There are some sharps and some flats in here, and I don't remember which ones are which, but I do know the finger pattern, so I can play the C minor scale. That's what's so beautiful about all this. All right, so we got slide, shift a fret, shift back. Maybe you want to go way up here, play the G flat minor scale. Way down here, play the D minor scale. Now play the E minor scale. Stay within that finger pattern, you're good. If you're ever running the scale and you're like, I don't know, because my stickers, I'm used to it just being, the straight alphabet, no sharps, no flats. I don't know where to go. Understand? It happens to me often, as I'm just now kind of learning these scales. Okay, if that's the case, go back to your A. Go back to your A, and then everything will be perfectly the musical alphabet with no sharps or no flats. It'll just be A, B, C, D, E, F, G. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So here we are. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. A, G, F, E, D, C, B, A, G, F, E, D, C, B, A. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. B, C, D, E, F, G, A. A, G, F, E, D, D, C, B. A, G, F, E, D, C, B, A. Okay. That's okay. So now that we're starting to get a little comfortable with it, again, I want to try skipping some strings. Just trying to get that accuracy and that understanding. Like I said earlier, sometimes I try to skip one string and I accidentally skip two strings. Sometimes I try to skip a string and I only skip, don't skip a string at all. So yeah, just kind of working on that. Okay, trying to get that understanding of how to skip strings and how to do it, properly and accurately, and not have to not miss the string that you're trying to hit. All right. Now for the last little bit of this video, I'd like to hop over and change gears a little bit. We've been messing around with major and minor scales quite a bit. I've been doing a little bit of skipping the strings there towards the end. Once we kind of understand those scales a little, try to make it a little harder with skipping a string. But now let's kind of change gears here and get into some power chords. Right? I wanted to again build that repetition. Just because I've practiced it once or maybe even twice doesn't mean I'm super comfortable with it yet. So I'm still trying to just build that comfortability, bond with this guitar. Right? I heard a great guitarist once say, Sophie, actually, the guitarist from Machine Gun Kelly's band. And I've heard, Tony Hawk said it with his skateboard. People that are, super passionate about their craft, their tool, their skateboard, their guitar, whatever it might be, it just becomes an extension of their body, right? They practice it so much. They're so passionate about it. They love holding it so much. They love playing it so much. They love riding it so much. They love, dribbling the basketball so much. They become one with the basketball. They become one with the guitar. They become one with the skateboard. It's just an extension of their body. They're so comfortable with it, right? They can walk around the house with it. They can, and not hit things. They can, just kind of goof around on it. And it's just an extension of their body. That's how comfortable, that's how much time they've spent with the thing. So that's all I'm trying to do here, right? Bond with this thing. Those professionals, Tony Hawk, he has thousands and thousands and thousands of hours on a skateboard. Sophie and some of these other guitarists, they have thousands and thousands and thousands of hours on a guitar. I don't even have 100 hours yet. So again, I always, try to express to be kind to yourself, be kind to me in the comment section below, but also be kind to yourself, right? When you feel yourself messing up and then you kind of, you get it kind of right and you're feeling kind of good, even if you do still muffle something, but it's still a lot more improved than what it was. Smile about that, man. Pat yourself on the back. It's not easy. So be proud of yourself. Take those little wins and be happy with yourself. So anyways, I'm going to switch gears here a little bit, hop on over into some power chords, just kind of continue repping those out. Everything takes thousands of repetitions. So to really get comfortable at it, right? So power chords. If you're on the 6th and the 5th string, oftentimes it's the same shape. You have your index finger and your ring finger being used. Your middle and your pinky are kind of out of the equation. But if you have your index on the 6th string and your ring on the 5th string, a tone apart or a whole step apart, empty fret in between, then you have, a power chord shape. See that? Nothing on this row here. That's all empty. Index on 6th string, ring on 5th string, fret apart. So that is your root and your 5th, right? Right here I'm on C and G. Well, what is a C chord? C, E, and G, right? So you're still using your a chord, C chord, C, E, and G is the root, 3rd, and the 5th. Well, for power chords, you're removing the 3rd. So you're just using the root and the 5th. So you have C and G, no E. Slide up here. What's an A chord? A, C sharp, and E, right? Well, a power chord would just be A and E. You remove that 3rd. You remove the middle note. Slide up here. You have your G5 power chord. Again, this will all be in the pinned comment section below, so make sure you check out the pinned comment so that way you can kind of wrap your head around what I'm talking about here. But the G5 power chord, it's the root and the 5th. You're removing that 3rd. And what does a G chord consist of? It's a GBD, right? So you have your G, you have your D, your 3rd, that B, it's removed. Get it out of here. So you're using 2 fingers 2 notes, 2 strings, pluck them at the same time. Both these chords or these strings get struck together. I just thought of something neat. All right, so at first I was doing these power chords on the tips of my fingers. Okay, and as I was doing that, I was noticing every now and then my pick would accidentally hit that 4th string or that 3rd string. So one thing I'm trying to do here is with my ring finger on the 5th string, it's pressing down on the 5th string, but it is kind of kissing up against that 4th string. So that way if I accidentally go too far and pluck that 4th string, it's muted. Another thing I just thought to do, instead of having this finger up like this and arched and on its fingertip, maybe for power chords, I want to lay it flat. So that way it's still fretting, but then all the other strings behind it are actually being muted. So I don't know. Let me know if you're a guitarist and you're kind of understanding of power chords. Let me know your thoughts on that. Is that the proper way I should be doing that, or should I still kind of stay on my fingertips? I feel like I should kind of maybe lay it flat so that way I can do some muting. But let me know. Again, you can use any strumming pattern you want on this. I have a couple in some previous videos on some strumming patterns. So if you want to check those out, so that way you can have some strumming patterns in the back of your head, that would be a good idea as well. So that way you're not just, one time it's, and another time it's, and another time it's, but there's actually a rhythm to it. There's an actual pattern to it. So that's been my big problem lately. I don't have a whole lot of strumming patterns. I do a lot of focus on this left hand and getting chords and getting, scales, things like that. I've been spending some time, but I need to spend more time, obviously, practicing, with strumming patterns, skipping strings, maybe finger picking, different techniques, right? One day, eventually, it'll probably be a while, maybe after the 200, or maybe during, after the 200th hour, or from 100 to 200, I might explore with it a little bit. But that tapping technique, I think that's pretty cool. I don't know what I'm doing with the tapping. So let me just get back into my power chords. That'll be a fun thing to learn too. All right. Another way you can play these power chords, instead of just doing it on strings 6 and 5 with that, index and ring finger being utilized, you can also do it up here on the 2nd fret with just one finger. So if you think about it, again, you need your root and your 5th. So if you're playing an E chord, what does an E chord consist of again, right? That's why I said it's always important to practice and understand what the note makeup is for all these different chords. It's important to know not just how to do a C chord with your hand, but understanding what notes are within that chord, right? So for, an E chord, for example, what does an E chord consist of? E, G sharp, and B. Okay, so on power chords, what do? You remove that third, so that middle note there, get rid of it. And what was it again? E, G sharp, and B. So that G sharp, get rid of it. You just need E and B. All right, so over on the 2nd frets, if this 6th string open is E, well, where's your B at? 2nd fret, 5th string. Now you pluck the strings 6 and 5 at the same time. It's still a power chord. Two E5 power chords. All right, take that same concept. What's this open string? A. So what's an A chord consist of? A, C sharp, and E, right? So what do you need to do for power chord? Get rid of the third. Get rid of that middle note. Again, A chord is A, C sharp, and E. So you get rid of the C sharp. So you need A and E. If this is already an A, 2nd fret, 4th string, what note is that? Just so happens to be an E. So you have your A5 power chord. So A5 power chord. All right, keep that same concept in mind. Go down another string. What's the string? What's an open D string? Right? E, A, D, G. So, okay. The fourth string, D. What does a D chord consist of? What are the three notes within a D chord? You have your D, F sharp, and A. Again, get rid of the middle one. Get rid of that F sharp. That's also called the third. You have your root, or your first, then your third, then your fifth. So get rid of the third. It was D, F sharp, and A. Get rid of the third, so now you have just D and A. So if this is already an open D note, okay, where's your A? It just so happens to be on the second fret, fourth string, or second fret, third string, right? The fourth string is open, the third string is fretted on the A note, second fret. Hit both those strings at the same time. The open string, since it's the one lower, that's the chord, right? Open D chord, it's a D5 power chord. Open E chord, E5 power chord. Open A chord, A5 power chord. D5 power chord. Again, as long as you have D and A, you're good with the power chord. All right, let's go down one more. You have G. All right, so if you have an open G, what does a G chord consist of? G, B, and D, right? So, okay, you have your open G. Now where's your D? Mostly everything's been on the second fret. However, on this second string here, things get kind of thrown off because it's a B string. So you actually have to slide down to the third fret on this one. So open G, D being fretted on the third fret, second string. Hit both of them at the same time. G5 power chord. G and D. Not D and G, but G and D. Okay. Then you have the open B. What does a B chord consist of? B, D sharp, and F sharp. So, okay, B, D sharp, and F sharp. All right, so get rid of the D sharp. You want to keep the F sharp. So if second string is an open B, where are you going to find your F sharp? Second string, or second fret. Again, most everything's on the second fret, except for that weird D here on the third. But, all right, so again, you have your open B string, you're fretting your F sharp, pluck them together, B5 power chord. So you have a lot of power chords on the fifth and the sixth string. Then you have a lot of power chords on the second fret here with an open chord above it or below it. B5 power chord. All right, got a lot more playing around with these power chords and stuff, and with the major and minor scales. But as you can see, starting to get understanding of things. Now it's just really building in the repetition, really getting comfortable with it, really sounding good with it. So that just takes time. That just takes thousands and thousands of reps. And I think that's what a lot of these professional YouTube channels aren't telling these other beginners, like, hey, just practice this scale or practice this little pattern, but they don't say practice it 1,000 times, right? So anyways, I hope I'm helping some other beginner out there. That would be a blessing. If so, please leave a comment below and let me know if I'm helping. But that's going to be a wrap on today's practice. That's an hour in the book. So today is day 82. So the next video obviously be 83, just continuing to work our way towards the 100 live guitar practice streams. I can't thank you guys enough for joining. It is greatly, greatly appreciated. When I see people viewing, when I see people subscribing, when I see people commenting, things like that, it is a great blessing. So please hit the subscribe button down here. Please comment below. And please hit that like button for your friend. It would be greatly appreciated for all the hard work, courage, dedication, time, energy, that goes into these things. I would greatly appreciate it. Just hit the like button. But other than that, I think there's probably some like floating videos on the screen now. This one would be the entire catalog of the 100 videos I'm building for this exercise here, this project, and here would be the subsequent video in the series. So please check those out and continue supporting the channel. But other than that, until next time, take care of yourselves and each other. I love you. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.